We have here one of our allied health professionals that's taken some success of our application. Dr. Mina Phillips, do you want to help introduce yourself a bit?
Yep. Hey guys, my name is Dr. Mina Phillips. I am a registered osteopath with APRA and with the Osteopathy Board of Australia. I work at two osteopathy clinics, so one in Croydon and one in Upwey. And I recently joined Housingnet, and yeah, they've helped me become, pretty successful at it. So thank you for having me.
The first question is, how does Housingnet give you more clients? So how Housingnet gives you more clients is it works exactly how you would imagine a freelancing website works. So a person in need of a service will come to our website looking for, and obviously depending on how many reviews Mina has, or if Mina is attractive enough to be clicked on.
Damn.
But yeah, so we click on his profile, and obviously Mina himself is an osteo. So if someone is in need of his services, they'll click in, they can make a booking, depending on his availability, which we'll go into a bit later. And yeah, they can choose between whether they want to do telehealth or they want to do a clinic. Mina, I've spoken to you previously, and you mentioned before that you actually prefer to do telehealth. I know you've been to our clinic a couple of times.
Mm.
What do you give? Like, what do you have to say about both?
Um, well, the telehealth was being super easy because um, I think, after being in COVID, it's kind of shown a lot of health practitioners that, it really challenges their knowledge and their, their understanding and the way they can assess, completely hands off. So um, I think it's allowed me to develop my own skills a little bit more while doing telehealth. But yeah, I think, I still really love being in a clinic. Like I said, I work at two clinics and I do predominantly in person. What's it called? In person appointments there. So I guess the thing I really like about HousingNet and being able to do telehealth on HousingNet is that I'm not having to travel back and forth quite a lot. I'm able to, even if I have a couple of slots empty at the clinic, I'm able to, book those out and do telehealths on my laptop at the actual clinic. So that way, it's just a lot more convenient for me.
Yep. And that's what we try to do with Housing It is we want to give our professionals and essentially the convenience of being able to earn that extra income while
Mm.
also they'll be on their own schedule with no limitations. So that's exactly why Mina over here, he loves, man, he was telling me the other day, he loves his telehealth appointment because they're so easy. You can smash them out. You get to know your clients on a personal level, similar to as you'll be on the clinic, but it's just more convenient and lets you just have that flexibility. So you can literally work from anywhere and still be able to talk to your clients and still manage what they need and still be able to essentially get the job done.
So yeah, so just like I was saying to you before, yes, there is a place for the treatment and whatnot, but some clients, as they're not on their way out or towards the tail end of their condition, they're more looking at progressing their exercises or implementing certain functionality stuff throughout the day to just really kick past that that barrier of the condition, and that's not something I have to do in person. That's something that I can assess over telehealth, advice that I can give over telehealth. I don't really need to be there in person. Um, and yeah, so it's just been a lot more convenient for me being able to do that over telehealth.
And why would you spend an hour driving to the office when you can literally just spend that hour talking to that client and getting it done? Like the
Exactly.
time it takes to drive to the office, you can literally get that job done. You can take on more clients anyway, and
Yeah.
you can have that extra income.
Yeah.
Someone else asked, Mina, can you please discuss your what you do for a living a little bit more? I'm confused. Does osteo mean osteoporosis?
Okay. So an osteopath is a registered health professional. We are musculoskeletal therapists that look at the body as a unit. So we look at the relation between the musculoskeletal system to things like your neurovascular system and so on. And we are qualified diagnosticians. So we're qualified to diagnose musculoskeletal conditions and look at treating and rehabbing these conditions to get you past this health barrier and hopefully prevent that from happening again.
Right, so you're telling me if I'm at gym and I tore my rotator cuff, you can
Mm.
come tell me if it's my rotator cuff or I just don't want to do bench.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we I've dealt with a lot of rotator cuffs.
Wow,
Rotator
really?
cuffs are pretty much the bread and butter.
Wow.
Um, yeah, we unfortunately we do get a lot of gym type injuries. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty common for me to see a rotator cuff, to treat a rotator cuff, and give a lot of prevention exercises, and show ways to kind of move around that injury and still go to your gym, go get throughout your day, and not have it impact your work.
So you're telling me when I'm at gym and my friend is telling me, oh, his shoulder, he doesn't want to go. It's actually his shoulder.
Potentially, send him my way and we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll
send him your way. I'll send him your way. Look, so someone else asked, what if I get a client on my day off? So essentially, as we previously mentioned, you put your availabilities into Housingnet. You can literally only click on the availabilities. So if you have a look on our website, the book now button is only available on days that you put in. So on days there where you cannot take a client, you cannot book them, right? So I know Mina, for example, he was telling me the other day, he was a bit confused because obviously Mina himself, he tries not to best to work on Sundays. He works very hard, but he tries not to work on Sundays. He actually had a client email him and ask an inquiry about whether he can take them on person on a Sunday, even though obviously his availability said he couldn't work on a Sunday. How'd that go for you, Mina?
So yeah, like you said, I just choose not to work on a Sunday, usually just because it's my day to kind of just wind down, prepare for the week, get my social life in. So yeah, this client emailed me at the time and it was saying, hey, I'd love to see you now. He's a client that I've seen before. I obviously had complete autonomy and free will to choose whether I would want to accept him or not. I was actually really fortunate because I was in the area around the clinic, and I had maybe an hour free. So I told him, look, maybe just this once I'll squeeze you in. We went to the clinic in Rosanna, and I was able to just treat him. But yeah, usually I have complete autonomy whether I want to accept the patient on a certain day off or not. And yeah, like I've just found it super convenient to use.
And someone else has asked, how can I balance this in my current job? I currently work 40 to 50 hours as a nutritionist. I want to get on Housingnet, but I'm worried that I'll be too burnt out and it's not manageable. So Mina over here, he actually works, and again, he mentioned that he works at 2 clinics himself, and he also takes on these clients. So Mina, do you want to talk about how you balance Housingnet as well as taking on these 2 clients? What's that done for your career?
Yeah. So I'm pretty similar. I kind of have alternating weeks at the moment where I work 45 hours to 40 hours. There are weeks where I've worked 60 hours and I've taken on a couple of extra, patients here and there. However, the thing that's really good about Housingnet is that if I know in advance that, I do have a quieter week, I'm able to, open up more, slots. Like we said before, I do like telehealth because it means I don't have to drive in and out and all around Melbourne. So, when I know that I have, say a couple of hours free in the middle of the day, I can block that off at my clinic, and I can open those hours up on Housingnet for telehealth, and that way I can just as if I'm just doing a normal average day where I'm taking on those patients, doing a telehealth, and I'm not really having to go out of my way for it. So I guess I like to balance it that way. And, even in weeks where I know I have a really, busy week coming on, I'll just say I'm unavailable on Housingnet. There's nothing wrong with that. You have complete free will and you are essentially your own boss. So there's no, you have complete autonomy over how much you work and when you work.
And here's the thing, you guys. Okay, let me explain to you how great of a human Mina is, okay? Mina is actually doing me a favor, okay? I'll tell you right now, it's on a Tuesday, it's about 11 a.m., right? Mina has a client at his own clinic at about 12, 1 o'clock. And it's somewhere in the midday, right? Mina, I asked Mina before, can you please help me do this interview? I want to talk about, I know you've been happy with Housingnet. I want you to do this interview. He's actually had to turn down work to be able to do this interview with me. So I actually want to give a big shout out to Mina for being able to actually come and do this interview with me when he could be out making his own money.
No, it was all right. I usually don't, like, I won't turn down a patient. Usually, however, I just contacted this patient and, they're more than happy to move down a couple of hours. So it worked out really well and I was able to just block out like half a day. Yeah, so I'm not that good of a human being.
No.
I do appreciate the shout out and I do appreciate the kind words.
Yeah. So exactly. So he's been able to move his client down a couple hours. So he's still seeing his client, but with that, he's also able to come do this interview with us and come talk about his experience with Housingnet and still being able to see his client. and still being able to clock a reasonable time and go have a coffee, go enjoy his lunch. Another question we have here is, what do you have planned for the future of Housingnet? I see that you have a lot on your website now, but I'm not sure whether this will fall off. Yeah, so essentially with Housingnet, what we want to do post our launch, we want to have these professionals, we want to have these providers on our website, we want to get people on to essentially, we want to make it more user friendly, right? So we want to hear everyone's experience. That's why we push everyone to leave a review. Let us know what's wrong with the application. Let us know what you guys like. Let us know what you don't like. So we're able to take that into our back end and be able to plan for that. So to answer your question, what's our future for Housingnet? To make everyone happy. To build a community around Housingnet where everyone can actually use it, because we don't want to launch an app. We don't make any money of this, right? So we want to be able to launch it and to be able to have everyone actually enjoy using it. We obviously, as the question said, we don't want it to fall off. It's not going to fall off because we don't charge you guys anything. We don't charge him anything. We're happy to take him on as long as he's helping out the community, as long as he's helping out the participants is what we strive for. Look, I want to say a big thank you to Mina for taking the time out and to doing this interview with us. Thank you so much, Mina. I appreciate
Thank you
the
for
time.
having me. Thank you.
And look, so where to access Housingnet? Our last question. So guys, Housingnet, if you go search up housingnet.com.au, it's also available in App Store and Play Store for the mobile version, so it's even more accessible. You don't have to deal with the big screens on your mobile application. You can download the app for itself, make it way easier for you. And yeah, test it out for yourself. You guys can have as much luck as Mina as you want. You might not have as much luck. You look at how Mina is. We have plenty more successful users coming on our interview to be able to tell you guys how much they've enjoyed Housingnet. So thank you so much, Mina. Check out his card down below. Zoom in and have a look. Check him out.